Alicia, thank you so much for having me today. I had the best time going through your portfolio, and I kept thinking, I want to know how you describe your work.
Kind of different. I like having that old school, kind of retro, vintage appeal. I love working with mushrooms and very whimsical ideas.
Yes, okay, so I noticed a lot of mushrooms, a lot of gnomes.
Yeah.
So cute, and skulls, which I thought was interesting because you don't usually think of the two together.
No.
So tell me what inspires you.
Well, I've always been kind of edgy, like that hardcore aspect, but mixing it with a little bit of fun and cute.
Yeah.
So that's what I like, meshing the two together and just making it my own.
Tell me about your process. You work with wood primarily, yes? And I also loved the photos of kind of your step-by-step process. So you start with wood and you sketch on it?
Yeah, I sketch it all. Everything I draw is free-handed. I don't typically ever trace things, or because I know a lot of pyographers will do transfer copies.
Yeah.
I don't do that. So a lot of it is sketched and free-handed. And when I first started, a lot of the struggles I was having was, how do I get rid of the pencil lines?
Oh, okay.
So pretty much everything that's drawn on with the pencil is burned on the wood, because
Yeah.
that's the only way to really get rid of it.
Sure.
So that's a big part.
I noticed that your work, unlike some other pyrographers that I've seen, you add a lot of color.
Yes.
So do you try to do basically the outline, the sketch with the burned wood and then fill in with paint?
So I add all the values, so all the solid tones and the values. So like the shadows all burned in, and then I take acrylic paint and I water it down. Usually, sometimes I do just solid color, but for the most part it's watered down acrylic. So those burnt in tones still show up, and that gives you the depth.
When did you start pyrography?
So in high school, my senior year, I did this drawing, and my art teacher at the time was like, "You need to burn it." I'm like, what? I didn't even know what pyrography was at that point. I'm like,
This doesn't
burn
sound
it?
like a compliment.
Exactly. At first I just looked at her, and she was very eccentric. She was super awesome. And I just remember looking at her like, oh, is it that bad? She's like, no. Next day she came in with a plank of wood, and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
And at that point it was like one of the old, like, heavy duty pens that I burnt myself a lot.
Oh no.
But that was my first experience with it. 6 years later, COVID hit.
Yeah.
I was bored. I didn't want to draw. Didn't really feel like painting as much on like canvas. And I was thinking back to what I've done in the past, and I was like, why did I not pursue wood burning or pyrography? So
I mean, aside from the burns.
yeah, aside from the burns, yeah. And then that just kind of kick-started me back into it. It was something different, you know. And unfortunately, with like the art community and the art world, everything is just not a lot of diversity. A lot of people do the same, and I wanted to be different.
Yeah.
I wanted to stand out, and that was my way of standing out.
I love it. So it seems like you kind of really dove in.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that that's primarily what you do now?
Yes, for the most part. I mean, I'll sketch here and there, but it's not the same. I don't get that satisfaction.
When did you know that you were an artist?
Oh man, probably second grade, when my art teacher just really pushed me. And it's crazy to think that at 7, 8 years old, somebody can make that much of an impact. And he was like, oh no, you've got something. And it was like, okay.
Did you recognize that in yourself, or did it take somebody else saying it?
I think it really did take somebody else saying that
Yeah.
for me to finally be like, okay, yeah. And then I just kind of stuck with it through middle school and then high school, and then went to college for it. And
Okay, so tell me when you get to college, what is your goal? What did you study specifically, and what did you hope to get out of it?
art education and becoming a teacher and inspiring somebody like my teacher inspired me. And
Yeah.
that's what I do now.
I was gonna say, so I read that you're a teacher. What grade?
K through 5.
Nice.
So elementary art.
Yeah, do you love it?
I love it. It's the best.
I can imagine that your students teach you as well. What do you learn from them?
Oh man, that mistakes happen.
Yeah.
It's okay to make mistakes, because even
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm doing projects with them and I'm on display and I'm showing them, walking them through it, I goof up.
Yeah.
And they're always like, it's fine, it looks good. I'm like, it's not, I could do better. And they're like, no, it's beautiful. I'm like, thank you, you're right.
Does working with the kids give you a different kind of outlet than you get with your pyrography?
Yes. Yeah, they just see the beauty in everything for the most part. So even like with my own pieces, like I've got piles of rejects and they just look at things differently. Like if I'm going one way with it, they see a dinosaur or something and I'm like, okay, let's make it that.
Let's go for it.
Exactly.
That has to be liberating, I would imagine.
It is really awesome.
Okay, let's talk about the pile of rejects, because I imagine that there is a learning curve. Did it take you a while to get really good at burning your art?
Yeah, it's practice makes perfect. It's like everything. The more you practice, the better you get. You don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, just doing the same thing, reworking things.
How hard is it to take what is in your head and get it onto the piece of wood, especially knowing that those pencil lines are going to become permanent when you burn them?
That's probably one of the hardest parts. It's a lot of reworking and a lot of planning around things that end up on there. Yeah, I just go with it for the most part.
Do you sketch on paper first and then, okay, so you go straight for the wood?
Yeah, I don't like sketching.
Yeah. Is it an expensive art? Because wood isn't cheap.
So it started out really cheap. Like I could buy pieces of wood for like $2 for $1.
Yeah.
And now it's not, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I see behind you, you have all of these plaques. Do you always work with that type of wood, or do you work with like natural wood? Like, you know, if you saw a stump outside, could you use it?
Yes and no. It really depends on the type, because the more I've done it, the more I've learned like some woods are toxic to burn.
Oh.
Like you can't burn them because it can cause long-term lung damage.
Yikes.
Yeah. So there's like safe woods and not so safe woods. So if I don't know the type of wood, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
Because I do have a respirator, but I don't like to use it as much.
It probably interferes with the creative process,
It does,
I would imagine.
But if need be, if somebody did ask me to burn a piece of wood that was significant or something, and I was maybe unsure, I would wear the respirator. But
yeah,
it does depend on the type of wood. But it's fine.
Okay, tell me logistically how the wood burning pen works. Are there different tips? Are there different...
Yeah, so I use a razor tip, which is the machine I've liked the most. But yeah, there's a bunch of interchangeable tips. So for finer lines, I'll use like an actual straight razor almost. That's on a pen, and then that really gets the clean lines. They have pen tips, ballpoint tips, shaders that are like little spoons. So there's a wide variety.
Yeah, did it take you a while to get really good at it, to kind of get used to the different...
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the fact that, you know, mushrooms and skulls and gnomes and bugs, lots of that kind of thing. Are there things that you want to get into in terms of sketching them that you haven't yet?
I'm trying to get more into people, but more like that 1930s like sad eye style.
Yes.
That's very like Art Nouveau. Like that's something that I want to try more of, but proportions and faces, they've always been a struggle.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that, because I talk to a lot of artists who make it seem like, oh, no big deal. And I'm like,
it's so hard.
Yeah.
But some people are incredible. And
Yeah.
I've known people where it's like, how?
Yeah.
Like, teach me your ways.
well, it just goes to show that, you know, somebody can be incredibly talented in one vein,
Yeah.
and then, you know, it takes a lot more work in another.
Yeah.
So to that end, what is the hardest part of creating your work?
Oh man, coming up with ideas. Because sometimes art block, kind of like writer's block, it's a thing. Or I'll do the same thing for a while because, you know, I really like how it turns out the first time, and I'm like, let's make it better each time. And then that like perfectionist attitude where it's like, I can make it better. And sometimes you just gotta know when to step back, like, you did it.
If you weren't an artist, what would you be?
A writer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you feel like you would have to be in some creative field.
Yes, 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 definitely. Of course.
Yeah. What do you hope that your students learn from you?
That anybody can be an artist. Like, just stick with it, practice, practice, practice. But anybody can.
Yeah.
You gotta put your heart to it. It's blood, sweat, and tears, but you can get there.
Do you see some of your students who have more innate talent than others, or do they all just possess something special?
They're all different in their own way. Like, they're so young right now for the most part, but everybody's got something there. Like, there's not a single piece that my students have made that I just am like, I can find the beauty in every piece they've done, and sometimes even when I point it out, they're like, what? That's what you see? I'm like, yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you're awesome, and that's like my biggest philosophy with them. Like, anybody can be an artist, you guys can do it. Don't beat yourself up. That's the biggest thing. And they work on me with that, because sometimes I beat myself up.
You know, I was gonna say, I bet that it helps with your own personal work, because that mantra should probably stick.
Yeah, it does.
What do you hope your students take away from you above everything else?
That they're awesome in their own ways, and that Mrs. Karn cares dearly about them.
What has your art taught you about yourself?
Oh man, that I can grow as a person, and that I can change and evolve over time, and that I need to have more confidence in myself and my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some big lessons.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Your work is so cool, and your students are so lucky to have you.
Thank you.